Big party in Mexico. This is Pastor Sam with your Latin America War Report and Migrant Invasion News. As always, there's an awful lot going on in Latin America. The Pirates of the Caribbean are back with a vengeance. And of course, we're going to spend our first minute talking a little bit about Hispanic culture, Latin American culture. We are going to return to this. This is an indigenous dance. The president of Mexico is right here, and he's watching this with great interest. Really, there are multiple cultures in the Americas, and there are multiple epochs of culture. And really, what we know as Mexico today, or of modern Latin America, didn't happen until the Age of Revolution, when all of Latin America followed our 1776 example and began to throw off the yoke of their European overlords, outlawed the Jesuit order. It's been outlawed in more than 50 nations. And of course, the priesthood class, which basically had diplomatic immunity and were above the law, and they were molesting children back then. So until these nations came and said, we're going to be our own nation, we're going to rule ourselves. And that's when the real mixing happened between the Indian cultures, Protestant Christianity, and the Spanish language, of course, uniting everything. That's when Latin America really began to take on its image. This is an indigenous dance, but Mexican dance traditionally is really typed after the revolutions, especially the third and final revolution of 1910 and onward. So what you're about to see is kind of a new idea to redefine the culture of Latin America, and it's something that we should look at with suspicion. So a teacher from Traverse City, Michigan, was found dead in her house in the Dominican Republic. Very sad. These are expatriates, and some of them have gone out trying to give back and trying to build up the world, trying to help someone else and enjoying the culture of living in a tropical paradise for a fraction of the money of Traverse City, which is a very expensive part of the northern Lower Peninsula in Michigan. It's a tourist area, and boy, it takes a lot of money to get by there. So a lot of people have moved to Latin America, and they're out there, and now they're finding themselves in great danger. Even acts of piracy. When Venezuela started to break down really bad 2 years ago, there were more and more private yachts, people living on sailboats, and they were boarded, and they were crimes committed. Even fishermen have been having their fish stolen, and oil platforms and cargo ships have been boarded because most of them do not carry weapons. So this is a result of the breakdown of nation after nation. And of course, this is the lawlessness that the United Nations would like to see, would like to really make the law of the land. They'd like to make it into Waterworld and Mad Max and Beyond Thunderdome. And it's beginning, but we can come in and we can restore order. I've been doing more research on Janine Áñez Chavez, the president interim of Bolivia. She's doing so much good. She's kicking out the communists, but she's got this problem with indigenous affairs. There is a continued effort. I'm going to try to get our dancers up. There's a continued effort to oust her, and this communist front is led by the indigenous people who work in the coca industry. Remember that Evo Morales not only grew up picking cocaine leaves, but then he was the head of the Coca Growers Association. And from there, he assumed the presidency. And so this indigenous drug culture, which the Vatican is behind, just like they're behind in using the 573 tribal sovereign governments within the United States to undermine United States law and currency law and banking law. And the Vatican has got in with the mafia, and you see it in all these casinos. And now I've talked about this before, but it's very serious because these are warts on the American economy, and they need to be removed. And so right here we have, I'm going to bring this down to size so that you can see. This is a tweet from Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador. Not only did he have 50 witch doctors up burning incense on the stage at his inauguration, here he is at the Peyote Festival. Here we are singing songs, and this is a very dirty word having to do with werewolfism. and he is in Nayarit, and this is the dance of the peyote. Very bad. Why are the presidents of the world supporting these witchcrafts? This is what Janine Áñez has spoken against. She's been maligned for it. She's 100% right. This is sorcery, and don't believe what you hear. They are in league with the Catholic Church. I'm Pastor Sam. That's your Latin American War Report for today.